Here we go. Custody court in full swing. Mr. Slater's on the stand and the judge wants straight answers. It may sound routine now, but trust me, this back and forth over pickup times is about to explode into a full legal showdown.
Whenever you're ready, counsel, you may proceed.
Good morning, Mr. Slater.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, we're going to start with just some background questions. Who is subject to the suit? How are you related to them?
She's my daughter's mother.
Okay, and who's your daughter?
Or
And how old is she?
she's 4.
And were you ever married to Miss Brooks?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and so you were never married. Were you in a relationship?
Yes.
Okay, and when did that relationship end?
Probably before, a little bit before Aura was born.
Okay, and how was your visitation like before that?
It was okay.
Okay, and then at some point you decided you needed to get an order in place, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Or you guys decided, and so that's the order that's currently in place.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and how has visitations been going since that order's been in place?
It's been okay, but not through the whole order.
So right here, the attorney starts digging into the alleged 13 visitation violations. That's huge, because under most family court rules, repeated denial of visitation can lead to contempt charges or even jail time. But as you'll see, timing, literally, becomes everything.
So let's talk about you alleged 13 different violations. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's talk about the first one. The first violation you stated occurred on Saturday, November 16th. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Can you look at what's been previously marked Exhibit 1?
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, it's a Saturday. Why is it a Saturday that you're picking her up?
Because the judge that initial gave us the black and white, the court order.
Mm-hmm.
She gave us a 90-day, first 90 days at 10 to 11 or 12, and then the next 90 days from 11 to 12. So
you had like a step-up schedule?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and now where are you at in that step-up schedule?
We're on the regular court order.
I'm gonna object its relevance because
Okay, that's fine. I can get to the point. I was just trying to.
Sustain.
well, we're on the second amended motion, and that's not a date that's listed.
Sustain.
Okay, all right, sorry. Okay.
Go ahead. Okay. So this has been previously marked as Respondent's Exhibit 1.
Yes, ma'am.
And what's going on in that text message?
I'm letting her know that I'm here and that I'm picking up Aura, and then that there's traffic on the highway, and I'll be a little late.
And what time did you get there?
I got there at 10:11.
And was she there?
No, ma'am.
Were you able to see your daughter that day?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Let's move on to Exhibit 2, previously marked Respondent's Exhibit 2. What's going on that text message?
I was asking for Aura to be dropped off. I was seeing where Aura was.
Were you supposed to get her that day?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you?
No, ma'am.
Let's turn to Exhibit 4. That's a Thursday, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about what's happening in that.
I was letting her know that I'll be picking up Aura at 6 o'clock.
And what happened with that?
I didn't get her.
And why not?
Because majority of the time, well, she said Aura's not in school, so she's not going by the school time to pick her up or getting her on Thursdays.
Okay, so tell me about the school. What was your understanding of the school?
My understanding was wherever she lives, even if she's in school or not, that she goes by the school that's around her.
Okay, and what time did you think the school around her got out?
4.
And why did you think that?
My wife and I called the school, and the lady at the front desk told us 4 o'clock was their dismissal time.
Action, hearsay.
Sustain.
So you did some research,
Yes, ma'am.
and to the best of your knowledge, it was at 4?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so If you turn to Exhibit 5, Exhibit 6 of respondents, Exhibit 7, all of those, if we go all the way through them, all the way to throughout the exhibit through Exhibit 9, those are all on Thursdays, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're there around 4.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, did you later find out that it was actually 3:15?
Yes, ma'am.
And how did you find that out?
We were in court.
Okay, so did mom ever tell you, hey, no, it's 3:15?
No, ma'am.
Was she ever there at 3:15? Where are you?
No, ma'am.
Did you ever, was there any communication about the time?
No, ma'am.
And so you showed up when you thought it was the time, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And to your knowledge, did she ever show up?
No, ma'am.
And you were never able to get your daughter on those days?
No, ma'am.
And then,
Pause for a second. This is where the case takes a twist. The dad thought school got out at 4 hours, but it was actually 3:15. That 45-minute mix-up, it's about to destroy his entire argument. In court, even a small misunderstanding of a court order can flip who's the victim and who's in violation.
again, in Exhibit 10, that's the same thing, Thursday. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you listed 13 violations throughout. Let's look at Exhibit 11 really fast.
Okay.
That one's actually on a Friday, not a Thursday. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And you're there at 5:57 p.m. to pick up your daughter.
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened then?
We were supposed to pick her up because that was first Friday, and it was the first Friday of the month, but the days kind of got shifted. But she said it wasn't.
So you said this is the first weekend in February,
Yes, ma'am.
and she said, take a look at your calendar and you'll see it's the first one.
Yes, ma'am.
Was it the first one?
No, ma'am.
So did you get to see your daughter that entire weekend?
No, ma'am.
Sustain.
Let's look at your requested summary. Lee. Go to ours now. This is what you're asking the court to do today, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
So you're asking, number one, that she's violated the possession and access order. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
You're asking for a suspended commitment. Why do you think that she's going to violate this again?
Because even with communication, it hasn't been good. So it's always back and forth, not communication on a positive note, but back and forth on another note.
Okay, so how many times have you not been able to see your daughter?
About 13.
Okay. And so you're just asking for her to be put on a suspended community service or commended community supervision for 5 years to make sure she continues to comply with these orders.
Yes, ma'am.
And you're also asking for your makeup days.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's what's most important to you, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so if you look at the calendar that's been previously marked P5, and I know it's not in color for you, but I know you've seen it in color, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And then is that kind of just outlining the days that are yours and then the days you would like makeup days for?
Yes, ma'am.
And that would be if it started tomorrow, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so you're just asking the court for makeup time?
Yes, ma'am.
And then
Now we're entering the makeup days debate. Dad's asking for extra visitation time, but the judge isn't convinced. Watch how the questioning shifts from sympathy to skepticism. This is the moment the credibility battle truly begins.
and everything else listed in here, that's also what you're asking, but your primary concern is just makeup time for your.
Yes, ma'am. Makeup time.
Okay, and then you're also asking for attorney's fees, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And you, and is there anything else you would like to ask the court today?
No, ma'am.
Okay, that's all the questions I have for you.
Okay, pass the witness. Counsel, pass the witness.
Oh, yes, pass the witness.
Okay, Attorney Granada.
Thank you. Mr. Slater, when did you first learn school let out at 3:15?
Oh, we're in court after I filed for.
April of this year.
Yes, ma'am. Sir.
And then you admit, I think when your lawyer was asking you questions, that on all of your alleged violations, you did not go to the pickup location at 3:15, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you just admitted you didn't appear for any of these violations, right?
No.
You know, you don't. So if you just said you didn't appear at 3:15, then help me understand why you're now saying you didn't. You appeared. I'm trying to understand.
Appeared at 3:15.
Okay, but you're trying to get her in trouble for not appearing at 3:15, right?
No.
What are you trying to get her in trouble for?
Not giving me or
Okay, but the order says at the time school lets out, which is 3:15 for your admission. So how was she going to get in trouble?
that was after the court date.
And you learned in April, yet you're still going forward with your petition for enforcement today.
So
You had learned that school got out at 3:15 in April of this year, yet you're still going forward with your petition for enforcement today for makeup time. Okay, for periods of time that you didn't show up at the proper time, right?
No, sir.
Okay. And you want attorney's fees today?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you want suspended commitment, I believe you said?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you feel like your conduct would be a justification for the court assessing attorney's fees against you?
No, sir.
You don't think that by not showing up at the time school lets out that this lawsuit is frivolous?
No, sir.
I'm going to pass the witness.
Okay, counsel, is there anything further from your client?
Just a couple. You showed up at the time of what you thought was when you were supposed to pick up your daughter, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So even if you picked her up at 4, you still showed up.
Yes, sir.
Boom, the opposing attorney pounces. He's basically saying, why should you get makeup time when you didn't even show up at the right hour? The tone changes instantly, and you can almost feel the courtroom air freeze. This is where witnesses start realizing the trap they've walked into.
And no one was there.
Yes, ma'am.
And there was no communication of why.
Yes, ma'am.
And she never showed up at 3:15 either.
No, ma'am.
Okay. No further questions.
Okay,
So I don't understand why you're asking for makeup time if you're the one that didn't show up at the proper time.
Object, is that a question? Are we crossing again? Asked and answered.
overrule. Counsel, rephrase that question.
Mr. Slater, I don't understand why you're asking for makeup time if you admittedly didn't show up at the proper time to pick up your daughter.
Because I was there at 4.
But you're in the wrong. You didn't go at the proper time.
Not from what I was told.
Okay, but you understand the legal time is 3:15, not 4.
Sir.
You don't understand that?
Sir, that's what I was told.
What time do you believe your possession starts now?
My possession starts now.
On Thursdays and Fridays.
On Thursdays after she gets out of school.
What time's that?
That's around 3. Well, we get there early, so.
I'm gonna pass the witness.
Okay. Anything further?
Nothing further
No,
for this witness.
Okay. Sir, you can have a seat back next to your attorney. Counsel, you may call your next witness.
I'll call Ms. Brooks.
Okay. Ms. Brooks, you may have a seat right here. Just make sure you pull the microphone close to you.
Okay.
Okay. Counsel, whenever you're ready.
Ms. Brooks, do you think it's in the best interest of your son to spend time with his dad?
I have a daughter.
A daughter, I'm sorry. I have a son. I do that all the time. A daughter.
Yes.
Okay. And so you understand the court order?
Yes.
Okay. Did you show up on Thursdays?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
And what did you do when you showed up?
Waited.
You did?
Yes.
Okay. And did you ask where he is?
No.
Okay. And so and he would text you at 4 the same days?
Yes.
And did you ever tell him, hey, I actually was there at 3?
No.
Okay. So you were intentionally trying to make sure that he didn't know the time.
No.
Okay. And you didn't give him to him on that weekend?
Not the days that he was late.
No, the day that he was on time
What day was that?
at 6 o'clock on Friday. when you said it wasn't even his weekend because it wasn't the calendar day. You remember that?
Yes, according to the order.
It's an objection and non-responsive.
Sustain after yes.
Thank you. So you never intended to let him see your daughter. You're making it difficult for him to see your daughter. Is that true?
No,
But you were there at 3:15. You didn't bother to say, "Hey, I'm here."
no.
No further questions.
Okay.
Can I add something to that?
Your attorney is about that. Whatever needs to be cleared up, he'll do it.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, counsel.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you want to clarify the last question opposing lawyer asking?
Go ahead, counsel. You may ask your question.
Yes, ma'am. That's correct. Do you want to clarify anything in response to the question the opposing lawyer just asked you?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes. Do you want to respond and clarify?
No, what question? Which one?
I'll move on.
Okay.
All right. So did you hear Mr. Slater say he never appeared at the time of his court-ordered possession begins?
Yes.
Okay. So we don't need to go through each text message showing he appeared at the wrong time because he just admitted it, right?
Yes.
All right. You've had to pay me a lot of money to defend this lawsuit.
Yes.
Not Ms. Caskey, but another lawyer working for him when they did the initial filing didn't even include the time necessary to get you in trouble, right?
Yes.
We had to ask the court, and the court granted our request to make him specifically state the time that you allegedly violated the order, right?
Correct.
They ended up actually, after court order amending, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And now we're here in court, I think it's like 7 months later after the filing, conducting a trial for alleged violations. He's admitted he didn't appear at the proper time for.
And there it is, the full collapse of Dad's case. Mom's attorney proves he filed for enforcement without understanding the actual schedule. But here's the deeper question. Should ignorance of a court order excuse you or make you more accountable? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Was this justice served or just a technical takedown?
Right?
Yes.
Okay. What do you do for work?
I do DoorDash and I stay at home with my kids.
Okay. How old are you, man?
26.
Okay. And how much do you make per year?
I'm not really sure. It varies.
Okay. Is it well under 30,000?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Is it under $20,000?
Yes, sir.
Do you know how much you paid me?
I would have to look it up, but it was a lot.
It's many thousands of dollars, right?
Yes.
We included some of your payments, which are $4,500, in our exhibits, right?
Correct.
And it's your understanding that more money's over at this time?
Yes.
You're asking for him to pay your attorney's fees for bringing this, right?
Yes.
Do you believe the court's likely to deny his motion?
Yes.
Do you believe it's even close that the court will grant this motion?
No.
He came and admitted he didn't show up at the court ordered start time, right?
Yes.
Okay. He didn't even know that going into this. Is that correct?
Correct.
Meaning he filed a lawsuit against you seeking jail when he didn't even know the correct start time. Is that accurate?
Yes.
And has continued to refuse to drop it, right?
Yes.
They served discovery on you.
Yes.
We had to respond to that discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Part of that discovery was the school notification showing exactly when the school starts, when the school lets out, right?
Yes.
And Mr. Slater has still chosen to go forward with this lawsuit.
Yes.
You're asking for attorney's fees.
Yes.
This is real money you've had to pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Out of your pocket.
Yes.
Have you borrowed money from anybody?
Yes.
Who'd you borrow money from?
My honor.
That's who you live with, right?
Correct.
And how much have you borrowed the entire amount from her?
Yes, majority.
She wants it back, right?
Yes.
Meaning that's real money you're gonna have to pay back to her.
Yes.
We conducted a phone call earlier this year, and not with Ms. Caskey, but with another lawyer explaining the correct start time because he kept going at the wrong time, right?